I'm not getting out to record a review on the camera because I'm paid. I'm doing it because the survival of a channel depends on that. Good morning. I just woke up, well, an hour and a half ago, but I procrastinated into the duster house, into the tent. Remember that this is how I'm traveling around Europe. I'm now 48 days on the road. It is when I started to really use the X5 from Insta360. I bought it when it was released, but I didn't get to properly use it. They just released the X6. It is what I want to speak about. Not necessarily about the camera, but about the influencers around it, the marketing practices, and the reality behind a 360 camera. Not necessarily the X5 or the X6 from Insta360, but any 360 camera. This, I don't know if you can see it, this is how a camera looks like after 48 days of being used, which is not really, because I only used it maybe 10 times in total. It is full of marks, full of scratches. Of course it is plastic, so yeah, and the lenses are replaceable now, and in here I have a screen protector. It has enough protection for the body to last for a while, but this is how it actually looks. I was last night, before falling asleep, which is almost 2 o'clock in the morning, I kept driving. I found this spot, I stopped. There is an influencer. It popped on my feed because he's still on my subscribers list, and I thought, okay, let's do it. Let's listen to him, what he has to say about Insta360 X6. He's only now publishing videos when he's sponsored. Before he was doing it regularly. Now every couple of months when a product is released, probably he has agreements signed and he's forced to do that. He was trying to justify his existence. Oh, compared to others that are getting products and they stay in the studio, I actually put effort. I'm getting out and recording all this footage, and yes, I'm putting an effort and I'm giving you real value. So don't blame us, the influencers, us, these ones that we are paid to speak about products, because no, we are actually working a lot and we are putting a lot of effort. A lot of bullshit wrapped nicely to deceive you. And I thought, okay, I'll try to watch the video and see the value he's providing. He didn't speak anything about the cost, the real cost of a camera like this. Zero. Yeah, he tried a bit to tackle there, but to manipulate you, to take advantage of you, not to help you, to abuse you. And that's pretty much all. He didn't say anything in the video. 10 bit, 100 bit, a million bit. Look, there is 10, 20 or 50, I will call them idiots, that really care about that. And they are passionate about and bully enough to bully the whole internet, because this is how internet works. And you'll think, oh, it has to have 10 bit color grading. No. The real pitfall or downside of a 360 camera is, among many other, the post-production cost. You have to spend hundreds of hours to frame the footage and put it out there. Of course, there are a couple of them, 50, 100, 200 on internet, very good at producing bullshit. When you stay on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to stay and sit, if you use a critical mind, you'll realize, oh, this didn't took me anywhere, didn't brought anything, there is no value, because 99% of the content takes you nowhere. It is just wasting time. You get triggered into watching that, but then where is it going? Nowhere. Did you acquire something after that? Are you better after that? Is it the world better? Is the society, the civilization? In the majority of the cases, no. Zero, nada, nothing. So he puts the X6, not to say, oh, it's a pre-production. Okay, so you are testing for me a pre-production, not what I'm getting and not the real thing. So you are real building content because you are paid to do that, but okay. He puts that on a motorcycle and then fixed somewhere in a club, and he says, ooh, this footage is amazing. No, that footage is the easiest context situation around the camera possible. Fixed camera in low light. There is no movement. For image stabilization in low light, when you don't move the camera properly, there is no movement. There is no challenge to that footage. Go and move with a camera, go and do what people usually will do, go around the ruins of a castle at 9 p.m. when the sun is off, and show how that footage looks. And, well, you realize, not really, not a good camera. He places the camera on an invisible selfie stick on a motorcycle. That one is the easiest. It's like me putting it on the duster house and saying, oh, it is amazing. No. When I'm putting it on my back on a Via Ferrata and it starts swinging left and right for 1 meter, I had a comment now saying, oh yes, you have to find something, and because I built a DIY backpack mount, and he says, you have to do it even better because the camera moves quite a lot. Oh, the invisible selfie stick was a meter or more than a meter away, pulled out from the backpack, and I kept rotating my back because I was struggling to climb. Of course it sways. The stabilization actually for that situation but it is, the whole stabilization of the camera is helped by the backpack DIY mount. It is amazing, considering the circumstances, how much it sways left and right. 360 cameras, not necessarily the Insta360 products, but the DJI as well, because they are the two now players in the industry, are good from a perspective. The cost of getting what's good of them, it is huge, and it takes a lot of work. It's not that easy. Yes, you'll buy it, you'll have it, This one, when I'm recording for an hour, I think it is 100 gigabytes or more. I have to check, but it is a lot. A lot. 100 gigabytes of data. They say the X6 comes now with 49 gigabytes, something like that. That one is nothing. It will fill up in a moment. When you go 8K 30 frames per second, you'll feel that immediately. In less than an hour, that one is gone. Serves at nothing. If you record something here, 5 seconds here, 5 minutes here, okay. If you have a pre-planned scenario and you do it, okay. But this is not a camera for that. If you go with a 4K camera, the moment you have something properly planned, you know what to do with 100 times better camera. This is to capture raw and frame after that the whole action and produce something. The cost of doing that is huge, and the secret is not necessarily in the camera. One of the reasons I'm afraid of the DJI OSMO 360 version 2 that is released a day later after the X6 from Insta360, my main fear is the software. Now, the Insta360 Studio is not the best. It is the easiest and the more stable because they have so many years. And the best I can do on that so far is it does a couple of things automatically, which is how it should happen. The lenses, the frame, the whatever. It detects automatically and it does the stitching. When I do auto tracking or tracking, I use that to put me in center and then make sure it stabilizes to the best of the abilities. That one is not the best footage because it is too fish eye and it doesn't provide the real perspective of the mountain, of the elements. And I'm surprised to see that when you use the tracking feature, there's no option to also choose the width, how wide should go to avoid the fish lens effect. I'm surprised that doesn't happen. You are not allowed to select anything, but you just say track, and then it does whatever it wants. No control. I didn't use that much the DJI Studio because, well, it was immature when we released the camera. Let's see what happened in the past year. Hopefully when I'll put my hands back onto that. I've sent them hours of product improvement at the time when I had the camera and testing that. Hopefully something changed. I don't believe so, because I've checked at the point and they didn't do anything from what I told them, but who knows. My fear is that the software, it is still not good enough, and I will end up in the same situation where I have a camera. It's the only device that I can actually use because it is 360 and it catches all the angles. And what this means is, eventually out of all these angles, one is the good angle. It's very hard for me to put a 4K camera behind me. It's impossible. And to catch my climb for my situation. The X6 comes, the product page, with a gimmick of 140 minutes. 140 minutes with an asterisk there, and when you check, actually it's for the extended battery. I don't know what's the difference between this battery and the X6 battery, but they speak about this battery. This costs more money. True that now, from what I've seen, the X6 comes with this battery, comes bundled with this battery, and then when you buy the Essentials bundle, it has two of these batteries. So practically there is no extreme battery. The normal battery is poor battery. They force you to use this and claim 140 minutes. With this, lasts more than 70 minutes, which is the normal battery. So when they say that lasts more than X5, is this battery on the X5 or the normal battery? But because if they compare it to the normal battery and not this battery, then it's not fair comparison. Is someone speaking about this? I don't know. You might know better than me. I didn't check. I know they use gimmicks, so yeah, I will be very careful if I decide to upgrade from this to something else. I will be very, very careful and make sure I'm running the math properly to make sure that I'm buying what is right for my needs, which is long-lasting battery, but really long-lasting battery, and then a couple of other things. And I kept checking I was skimming the product page because it is full of bullshit at the end, as anyone else. So let's be clear, it's not just Insta360 doing that. They all do the same. 1 inch, but they don't say if it is what type of 1 inch. Yeah, double the 8K, I don't know what bullshit there, which is, again, we need someone very good at explaining that and at the end saying if it has real value or not. And my hunch is not necessarily, because the real situations where you'll use a camera like this are so complex that, and then the end product, it is so complex that it really many times doesn't matter. As GoPro, oh, we do, I don't know what they said, I forgot. When they started GoPro to pre-release, they were offering you $100 discount, and I'm bombarded now. Oh, $100 discount. So that was always the real price. Whomever paid anything else are not paying the real price, and it still is now overpriced. Whatever. I was checking the product. Yes, maybe smaller, maybe, I don't know. I have to check better to see exactly weight, size, and so forth. It would be best if it is lighter, because this is heavy on the selfie stick, and it is one of the reasons why stabilization at the end is not that great, because when it sways, being also heavy, it builds a lot of balance. I checked this creator or influencer or whatever you want to call him, and he was trying to bullshit us with updated bullshitting. I'm doing, this is updated bullshit from them. They are learning how to bully us more into submission, to listen to them and not think for ourselves. It is bullshit. We should develop the ability to read specs, understand technology, and understand what really matters. Yes, for a user or 10 users or 100 might matter that it is 10 bits log, whatever. You don't have time for that. If you don't do production, if you don't make money with it to have 10 people around them and waste their time, if you are like me, alone, and not to say for you at home to record, to watch later, this doesn't work. You don't care about that. Let me explain it in the next less than 5 minutes. What is very important is the software with which you edit the footage. The more features and automation you get with that, the better it is for you. What you want is to get out from the 360 footage as much 4K possible. Because if you don't do it, then this dies. You'll never watch it back again. It consumes a lot of space. Then, what you need is ways to properly execute whatever is behind whatever you captured. What this means. Imagine this. I'm putting this on my back and you'll put it wherever you'll put it, and it will start recording, and it records in all directions. Will you remember when what you recorded? Will you have good audio? Will you have good accessories that will properly connect to the camera, for my case? And you already have good audio in many case scenarios, you don't have to struggle. In my case scenario, I have to struggle. And ideally, when you use this camera, will be for the majority of the case scenarios, which is not possible. When you hold it on your hand and you keep doing this, it no longer works. When it is fixed somewhere, yes, it works, and you can claim whatever you want to claim, but otherwise not. This comes with a lot of limitations through the technology it is by itself. It really doesn't matter how many bit log whatever has, what should have at the end, and none of them does, is good low light in any scenario possible, great battery life, and then amazing software at the end with the stitching and stabilization and everything to compensate somehow for all the movements that we are making and all the angles that a camera transitions through during the recording. And nobody speaks about this. What I'm trying to say is the cost at the end to compensate for all these elements or all these limitations or all what a 360 camera comes with is huge. Yes, you'll buy it. Yes, it has all these bells and whistles, true. And yes, it might even last 140 minutes, even if there you have to do the math and it is the best case scenario. But the cost from starting to record to publishing is huge. Let me describe you my flow. I put this on my back. It takes the time to put the battery on, mount the invisible selfie stick, make sure it stays in the correct position. It doesn't. It is too heavy. That one always shifts perspectives, goes down. It's very hard to control. Then I keep climbing and hitting the camera with the camera the wall, for my case. Of course, if you put it fixed on a motorcycle, it will just do like that because you do the turns and nothing else, right? If you hold it like this, of course, nothing else. But for my case, this sways a lot and it hits a lot. Then I go into production and ideally I will take the footage out. There is no way currently for me to properly highlight the key moments for me to know later what to extract. I'm curious to see if DJI does this with a remote, with a new version of a camera, with whatever. I wrote them that to both of them, Insta360 and DJI. Insta360 didn't do it yet. I wrote them 2 days ago another email because they asked me. I wrote that back to them. Let's see if something will change with the accessories and the software. Let's see. If there is no way to mark the highlights, you'll never know where to go, how to go. Because the idea is, you know what you are recording. If you don't put the camera there to just record and you are not next to the camera, then you know what you are recording. And you want to highlight that. Yes, they have here and there an option to mark, but it is through accessories or through touches. If you have this on your back, you don't touch the screen. If you have a certain accessory, you might not be able to access while doing the activity. What this means is, and I told them, vocal highlights. I should be able to say, store this highlight, to then be able to go back at that time, because otherwise I have to go through the footage and find where is the moment, and I also have to remember that moment. They didn't add this to the software. There is nowhere. And comes this influencer, paid, to do what he's doing, and he's doing it to make more money, because otherwise he's no longer doing it, because now he's making money differently, because this was his interest, not us, him making money. And he's coming and saying, oh, it has 10 bits log. I don't care about that. I literally don't care about that. It should be a default, first of all. It should not be a big feature. The big feature should be all the accessories, all the features, all the software, all the options that we get to get out as fast as possible the best quality footage possible, or the best story, which doesn't happen. At the end, we are giving these incremental versions. We have to spend more and more. 800 euro is not cheap just to get the default. When you start buying the accessories and everything else, it is 1500 or more. Pay attention to that. Doesn't happen. Nobody speaks about it. Nobody comes to say, look, this software didn't evolve at all. The Insta360 Studio didn't evolve. It is the same as I know it. It doesn't matter if I added a button here, a button there. At the end, doesn't has what it's supposed to have. You go in pure video, you now only have access to the best source of sound. There is no option to save every other sound input everywhere else. What this means? They save energy by doing that, because they are computing now into the camera with a pure mode. And for them to save energy to still give you good footage, I don't know if this happens in the X6, I know the limitation in the X5. You no longer have access to all source audio, all audio sources, because when I connect a microphone, I want the sound from the camera in case the connection drops, or I don't know, to recover something, to sing, whatever. It's not there. They didn't add more features like this. They refined some features, and it is good, the thermal, the battery life, it is good that that happens, but it's not enough. We are still in an incremental stage, and we are still not getting what will help us to actually make of a 360 camera a production powerhouse. Insta360 focuses on adding more incremental things that might make it interesting. DJI is focusing on adding more features. And I'm curious to see if that happens, because whichever camera will have more features, more software features, more features for me to improve a flow, will win. What do I mean with that? What I need from a 360 camera is, of course, battery life. I need that as much possible, because a climb can be 30 minutes or it can be 2 hours. If I don't have to change the battery for 2 hours, then is ideal. I need good stabilization, because I'm moving left, right, up, down, and the camera keeps swaying on the selfie stick. Did they work at figuring out a way of doing that? I removed from the DIY backpack the jitter, so that one no longer exists. Now I have the traveling of the camera from one side to the other. It is left to right, up to down, it doesn't matter. It rotates. That happens. Do you have in your software a proper way to compensate for that, or we are yet not there? Because what I want is, when I get at the software and I'm saying track me, I need to be able to say how the footage should look, dewarped, as normal possible. I don't want to have eye fish effect. I don't want the Via Ferrata, the wall, to be deformed, not to be the real representation. How do we do that? Do you have a manual that says, none of them does this, that says put the camera at this distance from your back, your body, yourself, to catch you in the correct frame, 4K frame, without any altering of the image, any fisheye effect, anything? They don't do that. They can do that research for us. I should not do it as a creator. I will do it. Eventually I will do A/B testing until I get the correct distances and angles, and I will come and say to you this winter, after I will have all the footage, I know the lengths, I can see it now, because I'm always readjusting the length and the position of a selfie stick, and I will be able to say when, which is the best footage, or the sweet spot in getting the best, most accurate footage. They don't do that. What I need is that, to be able, when I'm starting to tracking myself, to be able to get out the best looking quality footage possible. none of them offer that. I want to be able to highlight, not possible. I have a remote, the moment I go in audio mode, you can no longer highlight. If I'm in preview mode on the remote, I have a button on the remote, a button on the screen. So it's a software feature, it's not a physical button. There is no accessory that can do it, cheap accessory, that can do it for me to keep the accessory somewhere. They have a ring remote, I think, that can do that, but I cannot do ring on Via Ferrata. So the ring, I should have it somewhere here, but again, that costs a ton of money. Why don't we have buttons on all the accessories? Because I bought the accessory that I thought gives me all of them, which is not true, and cost a lot of money to have a microphone, the GPS, and I thought I will have a highlight and so forth. No, I don't get that. I need to be able to highlight the moments, because while I'm doing it, I know when I do a mistake, when I find a rung, a peg that moves, when the drop is beautiful, when a highlight happens. I know that, and I can say it, and I can continue going after that, and then when I'm in post, the list of whatever I recorded there should show, and I should know what it was about. They didn't do that. There is no innovation into that. I could continue, but it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, getting footage out of this camera, it is very expensive, extremely expensive. You'll buy it, you'll rush to buy it, and it will end up in a corner, because producing with this takes a lot of effort. For my flow, what I'm doing is, again, I'm putting it on the back, I'm recording, and that one is one hassle. Then I have to copy huge files, consumes a lot of storage. I already filled in 40 days 4 terabytes. And now I'm thinking how to do about that, because, well, I have 2 hard drives, but one is the backup in case one gets stolen. So how will I do about that? I don't know yet. I'm already at 4 terabytes limit in 40 days. Imagine, and I didn't client who knows what. Then only to track and export that in 4K takes ages, and it is of course not the best quality footage. Then I have to go through it and figure out what to keep into a video. I have no highlights, no nothing. I have to remember the footage, relive the footage, hours and hours and hours and hours of editing. At the end, one video costs me a lot of hassle and at least 6 hours of editing, between framing and then exporting in 4K and then editing the 4K, copying the files initially and so forth. This is huge cost. And these content creators or influencers, they now come with more bullshit to us to say, oh, you know, you should watch and click and like and make me make money because I'm putting the effort to get out of a usual unboxing in the studio out and recording random bullshit that has nothing to do with reality. He didn't apply the usage of a camera into a real workflow of his life. No, he just forced generated content, and he has the audacity to bully us or to coach us or to tell us, oh, I'm not like the others. So this is the 2.0 version of their bullshit. The bullshit from before no longer works because now we are getting smarter and smarter with the consumers, and they come with new bullshit. Oh, I'm actually putting the effort. No, I'm putting the effort. I'm really testing, because this channel is founded, or a large part of it works on the X5 now. All the videos, all the climbs you are seeing is on the X5. I'm working between the DJI Neo, and it fails because it is weak, it is small, the wind blows it away, the batteries don't last too long. And yet it is good up to a point, but then very difficult to control. In case it loses control, it no longer returns and so forth. I'm not yet adjusted to that, and I'm trying to figure out the best system to tell you what is the best system for you to use. As I did with the X5, I DIY'd the backpack mount, and that one works, and I will come with a new video explaining how up to what point works. What you see on the channel comes from this camera. I'm not recording one video to review this camera and then say, you see, I got out and tested the camera. No, I'm actually using it every day. Every climb, this sits on my back, and I see the limitations, and I'm thinking how to improve that, how to overcome that, and so forth. And they come and bullshit us more. Oh, these ones, they should be punished so badly. They should be punished so badly because they are misleading us. They are not forcing the companies themselves to up their game. X6, and we yet don't have a way to highlight vocally. X6, and we yet don't have a feature inside the software to allow us to properly track the subject and frame it so that the image is not fish-eyed deformed. And these are fixable through software. I not even speak about the hardware, how much this or the X6 can do as hardware with so many AI chips that can be added in to handle that repetitions, because an AI chip, it is what it's doing. It follows a script and it spots that and improves the situation there. Yeah, pay attention out there. Pay great length of attention, because they are now not only lying to us or deceiving us, they are bullying us into listening to them. Now, this is how a camera that is really used looks like. It is full of dents. I have a DIY backpack to solve a problem, and yeah, the videos you see on the channel, many of them is footage from here. I'm not getting out to record a review on the camera because I'm paid. I'm doing it because the survival of a channel depends on that. It's a completely different perspective, and I know all the limitations, and I sent them long lists to both of them, DJI and Insta360, long lists of product improvement. Hopefully it will happen. They will listen, they will read, they will do it.